Hey guys, this is Anna from Spark Sustainability. You all participated in our crowdfunding campaign this summer and we're very grateful for that. As a reward, you chose the Q&A video. So now you're gonna get your very own sustainability questions answered. Here you go, hope you'll enjoy. Today, aviation accounts for around 2% of global greenhouse gas emissions, but it is one of the fastest growing industries in terms of emissions, which makes it a big problem. The easiest solution would be if all of us would start flying less, but most of us like traveling, and some of us might even have to fly because of work. There are technical solutions we could use to reduce emissions from flying. We could, for example, improve the fuel efficiency of the aircrafts or improve navigation or management systems. Solar, hydrogen and electrical aircrafts are also under development, but we will probably have to wait until after 2050 before those can be implemented in practice. Until then, biojet fuel is expected to stand for the largest part of emission reductions, according to the Air Transport Action Group. The technology is already available, but the supply isn't enough to cover the demand. Less than 1% of total jet fuel consumption today is covered by biojet fuels. The conclusion? This problem can be best solved by a combination of three methods. First of all, by gradually increasing the use of biojet fuels in aircrafts. Secondly, by nudging people towards more sustainable traveling, by raising awareness of the emissions related to flying, and by adjusting taxes to favor more sustainable options, like traveling by train, for example. And finally, by offsetting. While we need to actually reduce emissions, offsetting can help us keep within the targets until technological and behavioral changes catch up. This is actually a pretty tricky question to answer since it depends on how your habits have changed since you moved. So, for example, do you drive more or less than you did in Helsinki? Do you shop more now in a cheaper country, for example? Or do you fly more often to visit friends and family than you used to? Or maybe less because you don't feel like you need to travel to the sun anymore. We've assumed, just for sake of simplicity, that none of these habits have changed, but some might have. When it comes to food, for example, you probably eat less imported fruits and vegetables in Portugal than you did in Finland. We've assumed that you eat 80% less and more local fruits instead, and that will save you 40 kilo CO2 equivalents per year. Now, the biggest difference in your emissions is probably going to be in heat and electricity. Assuming you live in a similar sized apartment now as you did in Helsinki, your emissions will be 56% lower in Portugal on average. That means that you save around 950 kilograms of CO2 equivalents per year, thanks to a warmer climate. In total, you then save 1,000 kilos of CO2 equivalents. That's about the same as 10 hours of flying and is just enough to offset a trip back and forth to Helsinki. A vegan diet causes about 60% less carbon emissions than the average Finnish diet. Now, why is that? Well, meat is higher up the food chain, so to produce meat, you first need to produce fodder for the livestock. That means it requires a lot more energy and land use to produce meat compared to plant-based foods. Now, beef is particularly troublesome as cows produce a lot of methane, which has a much higher heating effect than carbon dioxide. That means that also dairy products have quite a high climate impact. If you look at sustainability from a broader perspective, grazing animals do feel a purpose in keeping the landscapes open and supporting biodiversity. But from a climate point of view, the vegan diet is the most sustainable diet. Thank you so much for watching, and really hope you learned something new today. And if you have any further questions or any ideas or wishes or just something that you want to chat with us about, don't hesitate to email us at hello@sparksustainability.com. And again, thank you so much for supporting our crowdfunding campaign. We really appreciate it. Bye guys!